Hi everyone, today you'll be doing your math quiz, so I wanted to do a little review with you before you do the quiz. And you can take notes, you can use your notes for the quiz. I want you to do the best that you can possibly do. So, one of the very first questions on the math quiz is about parallel lines and parallel sides. This was done a few days ago and we made some notes in your notebook, so hopefully you still have them. If you don't, write this down. Right here we have three shapes. One of the shapes does not have parallel sides. I'm not sure which one it is. So let's talk about it. Parallel lines are lines that will never ever cross. So if I were to extend it, they would never cross. So let me take a picture here so I can show you what that looks like. All right, hopefully you can see this well enough. Yep. All right, so let's look at this shape. Well, if I were to extend these lines, those will end up crossing. But if I go this way, that's a terrible line. Good thing they fix it for me. And I do this line, they will never ever touch. So there is parallel lines in this shape. So these weren't, but these were. They will never ever cross if I extend them. Let's look at this parallelogram. This one's actually very unique because, and we talked about this last time, they do have parallel lines and each side has a parallel line. So these two, they will never cross. If it kept going all the way to Lake Michigan, they would never cross. Same with this side. Oop. And this side. They will never ever touch. So those are our parallel lines. Say it, parallel lines. Good. All right. So this shape has parallel lines. This shape has parallel lines. So that means this shape does not. And let's talk about it. So each side meets in a point. Boop, 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 boop. But can anybody see something tricky? Good. Actually, if I were to keep this side going, let's see if I can make that line a little bit better for you. And I go like this. Oh, I didn't know that bent. Why would that bend? All right, and I do this. They will never ever cross. So I was actually tricking you. Hopefully you were able to look at those and flip the shape. Sometimes you have to flip the shape. Those will never ever cross. Good. And then we could also do these two sides. So actually all the shapes here have parallel lines. You just kind of have to shift them. So there is one question on the quiz about parallel lines. Actually two. Don't save. Good. All right, so now we want to describe the shape. When we describe shapes, we want to use words like sides, vertices, angles, and we also want to use the name of the shape. So who knows what the shape name is here? Hopefully you got it. I'm working on this one with Monroe. This is a pentagon. A pentagon has, and we want to talk about how many sides. They have 5 sides. How many angles? Well, the angles are inside those points. So there are 5 angles and 5 vertices. So if you're asked to describe a shape on the quiz, you want to make sure you use those words. And we've talked about sides, angles, and vertices, and you've got to practice those on Excel as well. So good. Here is another shape. And I'm not going to ask how many vertices or how many angles or how many edges, but on the quiz it does ask how many faces there are. This is a rectangular prism. This is not the shape that I have chosen. I've chosen an easier one to spell. This is a rectangular prism. or a 3D rectangle, that would work. It has how many faces? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 faces. Can you think of another shape that has 6 faces? If you said cube, you are correct. So there is a question like that on the quiz. All right. What is a polygon? There are 3 rules. Rule number 1. We know it. And these are probably out of order from our notes, but we did write this in our notes. They are closed shapes. 2, no opening. Oh, we already said that. No sides cross. All straight sides. Can't have any curves in a polygon. So a circle is not a polygon. None of the lines cross, and they're all closed. Can't have any openings. Good. And what is a quadrilateral? Well, if you remember my story about the four-wheeler, you will know that a quadrilateral has 4 sides. Always. So a square would be an example of a quadrilateral. Okay, it's a very short quiz. Hopefully you have looked at this video and it will help you get a good score, because I know your teacher and myself want you to do as well as possible. So if you don't do well, we'll talk and we'll try to get you to understand these concepts and get you a better score, okay? So don't be afraid to at least try and do your best and use your notes. That's why we took notes for all the rest of the videos, okay? Good luck.